I think some people can be convinced to buy something that they initially had made up their mind about, right? The one thing that is really important in sales is that you don't sell on the benefits, you sell on the value, which means that we need to have a conversation. We need to get to know each other. We need to have small talk. I need to have an understanding of who you are in order to understand what it is that you value so that I can proposition the benefits to sell you that thing, right? So when you're asking generic people, what are the benefits of marriage? And then sell me on it. I can't sell you on the benefits because I don't know what it is that you value, right? I can rattle things off, but I'm just giving you a list of things that you probably don't care about, and then that turns you away from the sale instead of being able to dialogue and get to know each other. That question of what benefit does value, that's an intimate question that two people need to have when they're considering each other because they've had conversations, they've had enough of understanding of each other to understand the value of each other. So when I said we need to stop asking women this in general, it wasn't to be dismissive of the question. It was to say that if I'm selling myself to the general public, I'm opening myself up to people that don't value the things that I bring to the table, the benefits that I offer, right? Unfortunately, because this is the internet, that puts women in like an uncomfortable line of fire sometimes. Sure, some hills we're willing to die on, others, like I know for me, this is not one of them, right? Sorry, just one more quick point, right? It wasn't. I loved the idea of like the like going to the car dealership because the first thing that a car salesman is going to do, come in, talk to you, how's it going? What'd you come in here for today? Majority of people leave with the thing that they did not go in there for, because that person sat down and had a conversation and showed them all of the things based on the conversation that they would genuinely like make their lives easier by going with something else, right? That's why this question is it's not for a public platform. I understand that some people need to hear it, and I appreciate you pulling this part out of the dialogue because I think people do need to understand why this question doesn't really make a whole lot of, it's not super productive on a public platform, because you're never going to get the answer that you want as an individual. Not you, Harrison. I'm talking to the people who are requiring a specific answer from the women. You're never going to get the answer that you want because you may not value the things that we offer as benefits.
Okay,
Okay,
real
so
quick,
look,
Marcus, we have to go to another video and we're done. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
all right. Why lease and get a product that you're gonna have to return back to the seller when you
No.
can have the option to buy? My kids, when they tell me that there's a ghost in their room, I don't go in there because I believe a ghost is there and tell the ghost to go away. I go in there because I care about the security of them, because I love them. When you have love for the person that you're with, you want to make sure they feel secure and wanted, right? You want them to be in the best possible space, because in return they're putting you in the best possible space, or they've already been doing that. So in doing so, you get, let's say, a 5'6" woman, whatever your preferential height is, a 5'2", 5, whatever your preferential height, whatever preferential skin tone, body type. You get a vagina that you can nut in regularly and not worry about getting taken advantage of. You get a lower risk of STD and explorative sexual activities that you may not feel comfortable with if you were having one night stands with. And you might say to yourself, well, I could get that if I was cohabitating. That's true. But again, like the young lady said earlier, you're single until you're married. So because that's the fact that some people operate that way, you want to just remove that argument off the table. Again, we're trying to make sure people feel secure. Now, the next thing is, yes, you can order Uber Eats, but it's not made with love. And the love that you get, you ever got head that didn't feel so great? It was just okay. Well, there's a difference between the head you get when she's in love with you and the head you get when she's in love with you and you make her feel secure. Then the other things that women can do for you, such as being compassionate and thinking about you the way you think about them, it increases when she sees that you're willing to put all of this on the line for her. I get it. It's a trust exercise, but the point of trust exercise is to help you grow as a person. So you will grow as a person within that trust exercise as a marriage. Uh, Ideally, it will go perfectly. You will live the rest of your life to the point that you will feel completed by the other person's And if you lose one of if the people you're in love with leave you, right, or you're lost from them, people tend to die afterwards. That's how integral it is to who you are as a person when you have that type of love in your life. Like if an older lady at 90, her husband dies at 90, she might not live that much longer because her purpose for living is now removed. So now we provided the value of having something that you feel entitled to and wholly owning, the value of securing, making the person that you're in love with feel secure, that you love them back. And we've also provided the value of your purpose in life that people tend to explain is the reason they no longer want to live anymore. So I think all those things, if you culminate them together, mixed with whatever other things you want, will provide something that's tangible, along with intangibles that you can't just replace by keeping somebody in limbo, which is what you do when you don't fully commit.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody else real fast? Because I got to go. We have one more video. Thank you for hanging in there. We're almost done. I almost at the finish line. Be mistaken. Please don't make it long. You got something to say, I know.
She's on mute.
God. That's God.
No. I was saying, no, I just said he left out inheritance as well. When you're legally married, you also legally get inheritance. You cohabitating, you inheriting mess, I guess. You get legal status, you get property asset rights, you get all of those things, healthcare benefit, all of those things that come along with being married. So that's in addition to everything Marcus just said.
Okay. I just want to make a real quick point. It will be real fast. Also, don't move in fear, guys. Like there's Fatty put in here in the chat. You lease because if something happens with your car, you are not stuck with it. Don't go into a marriage or think about a marriage with fear. If you have that fear in you're not ready for marriage. You have to go in thinking that this is it. This is the end. This is the long term. And if it isn't, then it isn't. But you can't go in with that fear.
Okay. So we have one
more. How many black folk write? No, I'm asking a question because y'all might know this. How many black people write wills? Are y'all fair? Do most black people that you know of write wills? No,
I think it's proportional to those who have assets. So
right.
You don't have assets.
And so that's the team Fatty is trying to say, oh, well, you could do that. You could write a will. You could do X, Y, Z. The fact is that most people don't write wills. And what you see a lot of times that happen in the black community, because stuff is not in order, when the person dies, they're fighting over everything. They're, or what have you. So ideally, if you are married, that takes away the fight. We already know who's going to get everything. It's going to be left to either the husband or the wife, unless something is actually written out. So let's stop.